Oh, it's a shell. It just popped loose. I think it's got sabot on it. Look.
God.
Well, yesterday we went on kind of a recon mission. We're looking for a new spot. So we got up to our regular place here. It was practically dark. I already got a Sharps and the Eagle button last night before we went to the hotel, but we just got this permission. You'll see in one of our videos across the street, we had buttons and bullets. We haven't even got through the gate here, and I've gotten a bullet signal. And I think I'm down to it. Yeah, it's right here in the side. It read like a bullet, but you know, we are still in the front yard, so I don't know. A lot of musket balls came from that other side of the road too. I'm just hoping this is an actual bullet. Could be stuff from the power line. Musket ball, I feel it.
There it is.
60, 69.
Some little, yeah, maybe.
Well, that's a good sign because we hadn't even got through the gate yet. Well, we got a 19 here. We're gonna live dig it. The problem with the 19 is it's a little bit high, especially near high line. We get a lot of wire off of that thing and connectors. Plus it's a little shallow. Maybe we'll get lucky.
Oh, there it is. Right there.
Oh, another musket ball. Sweet. Well, Chris called. He got one of those big old 69 cal musket balls right here in this high grass. I'm surprised we're getting down as deep as we are. Cool.
6 inches or so.
I've got 3. That's 4. Where are the bullets? Where are the buttons?
I know, right?
Got a 19 out of the hole. I don't know what it is yet. Kind of shallow.
There it is.
Musket ball. Well, Chris finally found something he's been wanting to cross off his list. He got one of the big 69 caliber 3 ringers, and it's really nice. That is one big chunk of lead.
And the musket ball was right here, just 3 feet away.
This might be a little hot spot. I better get my metal detector and get on in here with him.
You stay back over. Well, I just got another musket ball. There you are. GPS that.
Ta-da.
Yep. Another musket ball. Well, just picked up another.
Y'all ready for the big reveal? There it is.
Nice.
These things are everywhere out here.
Yeah, they are. Well, just got a Colt Navy, possibly. Straight up 15. It wasn't too deep.
Okay, this thing is a 16, which should be a bullet. But that's only one direction. The other direction, it's iron. So you got bait, grunt, bait, grunt. I'm gonna try iron 2. That's factory default. Let's turn this thing way down and see if it cleans it up. Still doing it. Look.
Yeah, I tried all the different modes. See if we get a cleaner signal.
17, -4. 16, -3. So I'm just gonna put that back because that was driving me crazy earlier by that old house. Now it's time to find out what this is. because those pistol bullets have been doing that in this soil. Oh, see, now we got a solid 16 both directions.
It'll be pistol up it.
Look, 36 Old Navy. So I don't understand, still we haven't figured out why they give an iron grunt one way and a solid tone the other way.
I've gone through all the modes, played with the iron buys, the new one and the old before the update, and recovery speed. Nothing changes it.
Well, we'll tag it and bag it.
Now
Chris is chasing another one of them crappy signals. Now it's iron.
Well, it's getting a high tone in there.
See where my metal detector's at? That's going to be a good one. I got a straight up 19 waiting on me.
This is the iffy.
Mine's not iffy. Okay, let's go see what this 1920 is over here. Chris's last hole ended up being a big chunk of a nail. I hope we don't jinx this live digging it.
That's nice and clean. It's the cleanest signal all day.
Being an 18, I'm thinking this is bigger than one of the pistol bullets. Still in the hole. There it is.
Look at there, 3 ring. Nice.
Sweet.
Just got me another bullet. 44 Colt Army. Well, I'm being called over.
From the bottom of the plug, see where it came out.
Oh yeah.
Another Sharps.
Not very deep either.
It wasn't a good signal either. But you know, this is the field where I got the James shell. If you'll look out there, it's probably about 100 yards out. I just got this, I don't know, it's an 18 on the Equinox. It don't read right, I don't think. I've never found an artillery shell with a Equinox, but man, that is one big chunk of iron down in there. And we're still digging. This still is looking like it could be an artillery shell. I don't know if y'all can see, I got my phone down in the hole to kind of light it up. Cross your fingers, we'll keep digging. Oh, it's a shell, it just popped loose. I think it's got sabot on it. Look.
God almighty.
Look at that. It's a eat up James shell, I think, because you can see like a rib right here with a big chunk of sabot left on it. There it is. James shell number 3. Okay, let me show y'all this real quick. In my last James shell video, I got a lot of questions. A lot of people sent a message wanting to know, you know, what it read, what my settings were. So I'll just run through that on the Equinox. This is the first artillery shell I found with an Equinox. Let me get up here, get out of the wind. I'm using the EQX15. I wasn't really wanting it for the depth. I just wanted it to cover this field because it's just a big flat field. And we have never found buttons or bullets out here. It's always either been canister shot and now a second James shell. So I wasn't really going for deep bullets or anything like that. I just want coverage. I do use Part 1. And it's set with a standard 5 tones. And I've got the horseshoe on. I want to hear all the iron. I think it ground balances at 9 up here in the sand. Most of this stuff is just your preference. This is the updated one. So I'm using FE2 and I dialed it down to 5 until I get used to going lower. Doesn't seem to be a problem. My recovery speed is 6. And y'all may think, well, that's kind of high. If you'll go lower, you'll get more depth. Well, I'm not really worried about depth out here because this thing just got a James shell at 17 inches. And if you dig much deeper than that, you just hit this hard clay bottom. But we do, if you get close, there's some railroad tracks that are abandoned. If you get close to those, you start getting the spikes and the rivets and the plates off the track. And they're kind of close together, so you kind of need a faster recovery speed. I don't think I'm sacrificing that much depth. So that's how I had it set. And the signal was an 18, and it was solid. It would not budge off of 18. It didn't sound all that deep with this 15-inch coil, but when I dug that big plug and I couldn't even get it with the pro pointer, I started thinking it was going to be a good chance to be a shell, and this time it was. So a solid 18, Park 1, FE2, we running 5, and then a recovery speed of 6, and that's about it. I mean, that was the first signal today. I parked and literally walked 40 feet out there, and my first signal was that James shell. That's my 3rd James shell. And the reason why I think it might have been an 18 is because this one still has a big chunk of sabot on it. So I don't know what these are going to read without sabot. That's going to be a new one on me. Because the other 2 James shells I found were with an AT Pro. So I'm waiting to find one now with the Equinox that don't have sabot on it. And we'll figure out what those read. I think this is that... the James shell with the end on it. The first 2 I found were the type 1, subtype 1. They're just flat down here. But this one looks like it's going to have that. And I can't remember the types and subtypes. We'll have to look it up. So we're going to get out here and see if we can't find another one. We've set some markers so we can kind of run some grid searches. Wish us luck. I forgot to mention about how I had the sensitivity set. I had it at 23. You can't really run max out here because you got a tower at this end of the field. I got 2 big radio towers directly behind me. But at 23, it's really stable out here. Unless you go farther behind me, it gets a little erratic. You have to go down even lower. But at 23, it didn't even breathe hard. It's 17 inches on that James shell. That signal, that 18 signal, was loud and clear and stable. So 23 on sensitivity. Just told y'all that we've never found bullets or buttons in this field. It's always been canister shot or artillery shells. And now I think I've dug the first bullet today. I think this is going to be an infield. It looks kind of smooth. Nope. Oh, that's a fired. It's a fired 3-ringer. Maybe that's why it's so far back here, because it's been fired. We've never found any drops back here. Pretty cool. I just got a big, smooth -5. Canister shots usually -3, but this one was shallow too. It's the second one out of the field today. The first one was a -3, way in the back. Boy, this field made a liar out of me today. Chris just dug a signal. It was awful high for a bullet, but it came out. It's an infield. Pretty cool. Well, I got my first signal of the day. It was a 12 on the Equinox. I thought it was going to be a shotgun shell close to these tree lines. There's a lot of shotgun shells along here. But this one slid back down in the hole. It's a button. Let's hope it's a cavalry. Oh, I think it's infantry. What's that in the shield? I can't read that. It does have some...
I need my other glasses.
Yeah, I do need my glasses. It's got something in there. It may be plain. We'll have to get our glasses and look. Y'all can probably see it better on video than we can. Well, 10 feet away. Just got another one. It also read 12 on the Equinox. Same kind of shield, but I don't think that's an eye, but it definitely matches the other button I just dug up.
Well, what'd you get? Uh-oh.
It wasn't a very good signal, but I see white when I broke this plug open. Everything we've gotten in this corner's been infields. It's like the end of an infield. Probably why it wasn't that good of a signal.
Cool. We're gonna jinx him. He
Don't
thinks he's
jinx me.
he thinks he's got a canister shot. It sounds like it probably is. There it is.
Canister shot.
Hauled it.
-5 on the Equinox. Well, we made it back home. We're going to do a quick little wrap up here. The big thing is the James shell, and this one is a Type 2. The first thing we did when we got back was go ahead and get it drilled. So we've already drilled it. It does have a nice big chunk of sabot left on it. So I'm going to get that in electrolysis here in an hour or two. I ended up with 6 canister shot. I've got 14 of the 69 caliber musket balls. I just noticed this one's been pulled. That's pretty cool. I've never found a pulled musket ball yet, so that's a first. I got a couple of the sharps, a nice 58 cal 3-ringer, 3 of the 36 Colt navies. I got a fired 3-ringer and a fired infield, and this looks like the end of an infield. I don't know if it was tore off being pulled out or who knows. It looks like it has some metal embedded in it right there. I got 3 cuff buttons. One is a plain eagle, but 2 of them, these 2, are eye buttons, infantry. And this one actually has some gilt left on it. We learned something on this trip from the farmer that owns the majority of the land where we hunt, where these buttons come from. I know you've seen in my other videos where these buttons will come out and they'll just disintegrate, just fall apart. And we had several theories on that, everything from heavy fertilization. I can't remember what else we'd come up with, but he told us their soil out there is very, very acidic, and it even eats up their copper plumbing. Any copper pipe that's in the ground or is laying on the ground, it eventually will eat it up. So that's probably what's happening to these buttons. Some of the crops they grow, they ended up, back in the day, would have to lime the soil to bring the acidity down. So that's probably why these buttons disintegrate and are in such bad shape. I don't know how this one survived with gilt left on it, but luckily it did. So there's 2 good buttons, eagle eyes. I did get an 07 Indian head. It was either a crop picker's penny or just dropped on one of them old farms. Chris, he finally got him a 69 cal 3-ringer. He's been wanting one of those. He got one on this trip. He got him a dropped infield. He got one of the 44 Colt Army bullets and 3 of the 32 Colt Navies. He also got a coin. We think it's a coin. It's the size of a penny, but it's very thin. It's worn smooth. We don't know what it is. And he got, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 musket balls and one that's been cut in half or something. So that, all in all, that was a pretty good trip. We didn't dig as much trash this time as we normally do. I don't know if we're slacking off or if we just got lucky and didn't hit a bunch of trash. So we're gonna get this thing in electrolysis. We did get some of the powder out, and it looks like it burned, but we actually tried to light it with a cigarette lighter and it wouldn't light. So I got a propane torch just to get it to sparkle. So that powder, it wasn't that active. This did come from a quiet, damp location that stays mushy most of the year. So I'm assuming that's why the powder was bad, but we'll be putting out a video later on the whole restoration process, so be watching for that. In the meantime, we'll see you in the next video.